So, Sean, you are now up, good sir. Your time to shine, bruh. Fuck. $35, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. And we should be good to go. I'm pretty sure Sean's here. Sean's always here, right? Sean's always here. Okay. Well, maybe not always, but I'm here now. Plus, I usually let you know when I'm leaving, unless a tech issue happens beyond my control. And as soon as I went to read that, Sean, it said connecting to chat, and I was like, wait, are we having a technical issue right now? Uh-oh. I'm like, why did I disconnect from the chat? What happened? Are we still live? Did we crash out? We're good, right? Queen, you ready for a tote? Well, if you are, I'll count it down. If not, well, shit happens, right? Just give you the opportunity. Three, two, one, go! Alright. Sean's Story, Chapter 35, Treehouse Isekai. We got our guest's wound treated, then provided what fresh blood we had saved. You have my thanks. Though it is far too late to get properly acquainted, I must at the very least introduce myself. My name is Jerome. I bowed slightly. Jerome. It is indeed late. Introductions will be short as a result. I am James. My adopted son Matt, whom you saw briefly. He is now sleeping with my adopted daughters. You'll meet them tomorrow. My wives, Princess Nayla, Marta. I continued through all my wives, trying to get some rest. Try to get some rest. We shall get better acquainted tomorrow. Sleep well, my friends. Jerome's eyes were already closing. The blood had helped, but it wasn't enough to recover his energy or stave off sleep. All of my wives, because this is a harem. Hell yes. Love it, Sean. In the morning, before anyone else woke, Lisa and I went to scout the area and see if we could get something bloody for Jerome. We didn't find much, but what we did find was a scraggly game creature being hunted by an equally scraggly predator. Which should we take? Asked Lisa. Predator. If it can't get that creature, it will try for us. We took careful aim and let fly at nearly the same moment. With a fwish and a twick, the two arrows found their marks. The predator jerked in shock, only to fall an instant later. The prey animal startled at the commotion and bolted a few paces before exhaustion forced it to slow again. It turned warily to see what doom approached. Lisa and I ignored it, much to the creature's confused relief. Then it saw what we had killed. Its nostrils flared, but it was still upwind, so there was nothing to scent. That poor thing. It's pretty cute in a way, almost worth making a pet of. Whatever it is. I looked at it. Similar enough to a deer, but almost dog-like in a way. The shape of the head was similar enough to a dog, despite having herbivorous teeth. Herbivorous teeth. The eyes were on the side of its head, as you'd expect of a herd animal, but the legs and tail looked like a canine's as well. I shrugged. I could see it, but we don't know exactly what it eats, or how to protect it. It could go either way if we tried. It's also possible that the panic of our attempting to tame it could make its heart explode. Best leave it be. Maybe think about it later. If we can get information on it, maybe try a wild feed approach for the area. A little sad, Lisa nodded. Oh, but I want it as a pet! You're so mean, James. I want a pet. Don't worry, we'll get you a nice, non-ravenous, possibly, disease-infested random animal that's, like, near death. With a decent supply of blood from the animal, we climbed up to the house. I see about making breakfast when Maggie joined us. Though hesitant, she made her way into the kitchen and began to learn and comprehend what things did what. She was extremely surprised at the microwave, as I stuck several frozen hash browns in it, and they were hot and ready to eat only a few minutes later. Ew! Microwaving hash browns? Sean, you're a criminal! How dare you make your characters eat such filth? Everyone knows you eat them frozen. Why would you ruin such a great food? No, I'm just parodying. I'm just totally parodying, Sean. I put them in the toaster, but anything that I don't have to put in the microwave, I won't. But I put hash browns in the toaster. Even though we have an air fryer, the toaster is still better for hash browns. I thought you were complaining that he didn't use the air fryer. It was otherwise occupied. I mean, however, some people don't like crunchy hash browns, right? If you put it in the air fryer, it's crunchy. Some people like mashed potato like hash browns, like nice and soggy and soft. So, microwave, it's not that bad, right? It's not frozen. Ever eating a frozen hash brown? Come back, not paying attention, didn't press down on the toaster, go to take a bite, you're like, man, it shouldn't be this cold after, you pick it up, you're like, it shouldn't be this cold after I toasted it. I only left it for 15 minutes. And you're like, oh, that's why I didn't even... No, I mean, that's my experience, Sean. I've done that before. I forgot to press it down, I just came back, and I was like, man, that's really cold. I don't know why, but I just ate it. And I was like, nope, that's frozen and uncooked. That is not, nope. I must have forgotten to press the fucking toaster down. Well, there goes my breakfast. Fuck. Breakfast we cobbled together was odd, to say the least. Mixture of earth cuisine and foods from Viscounty. This all looks marvelous, even if I don't know what any of it is, stated Jerome as he watched us set the table. Sniff, sniff. What is it? It almost covered up the smell of the fresh blood you brought. Is that for me? I haven't had Krelnar blood in ages. Their numbers have dwindled quite a lot. Poured a mug full of the blood and brought it to him. Try not to move any more than you have to. That wound wasn't exactly small. Thank you. But the blood you provided me last night was so much fuller in vitality than what I'm used to. It worked wonders already. The Krelnar blood will be nearly as good, despite how weak it is. I will, however, heed your advice and not move too much. Just let me know when you want a refill. I'm sure anyone except maybe Matt would have no issue refilling your mug for you. The reason I kept the blood from yesterday's hunt was to make blood sausage with it. This is a better use for it, so don't feel bad. I just didn't want to waste anything I could put to use. It's disrespectful to the animals who lost their lives to feed us. It's a shame you had to kill the Krelnar, but the blood is appreciated. We normally leave the animal alive, only taking a small amount of blood. You, though, you need the meat and not the blood, I take it. I nodded. It was stalking a rather sickly-looking herd beast. So we chose to remove a potential threat to us, rather than a harmless creature that was too weak to run from us. I think it might actually have followed behind us. I went to rotate the security camera to see if, so we could see. Oh, a trassel. Their herds used to span entire regions. So sad to see a lone animal like that. I think it's eating those green blade plants around your trees. Whatever are those plants? I looked, and sure enough, the trestle was eating grass. That simple grass, it's a ground cover, and given time, it will spread all over the place. Hang on, I have some hay in the storage. I'm a woodsman. Well, at least an amateur one. So I try to keep animal feed on hand. Might even have some deer pellets on hand, too. I excused myself and moved around to the exterior storage, then pulled the one bale of hay I had on hand, and the bucket of deer pellets. When I approached the creature, it startled back slightly. But again, it was too weak to move far or fast. I dropped the bale of hay and spread a healthy amount of the pellets. This time the trestle was downwind, and its nose twitched like a moth to a flame. Ignored me, came to see what it was smelling. As I retreated, the trestle was eagerly tearing up mouthfuls of the hay and crunching the pellets whenever it felt the need for a flavor change. When I entered the house again, Jerome looked rather surprised. That was quite kind. You may have saved that trestle's life. Again. When you were helping me, you said some things that made little sense. How I didn't seem to be undead? I chuckled dryly. Yeah, where I come from, and my wives as well, vampires don't exist. My people have stories, but not based in any facts at all. The closest thing to a fact we have here is about the vampire bat. It's a rather small flying rodent. Feeds on the blood of larger animals and has an anticoagulant in its saliva, so the blood will continue to flow for some time after the initial small bite. That's the closest thing to a real vampire we have. I love the backstory and, explanation, right? Of the oddities of it. Stories, though, are horror stories. There are various interpretations of what a vampire might be. Classic interpretation is that a curse kept a person alive after they should have died, forced them to drink the blood of the living to continue its existence. In that version, you could detect a vampire by exposing them to a mirrored surface, as they would have no reflection. They would burn in the light of the sun, too. I don't mean getting tender skin, but full-on burn. They'd spontaneously combust if the sun's light touched them. I don't even know how to process that. That's horrible. Jerome wasn't best pleased by this take on his people. I don't blame you. This was created specifically to terrorize the readers of the story. Not go out at night, or a vampire might get you, I said in a mock serious voice. It's all stuff and nonsense. Take my wives, for example. Their kind didn't exist in my world either. There are various stories about people like them as well. None of those stories have any truth to them. If they do, it's purely by chance. Don't dwell on it. You were clearly no threat to us, and that's the only thing that concerned me at that moment. I didn't want you to get injured because of my ignorance, though. Jerome nodded. I suppose, given you had no real vampires to reference, that any story might be possible. Very well, I shall not dwell on it, but I'd advise against mentioning it to anyone else. Some may take the actual offense. I nodded, then refilled his mug with blood before returning to my own breakfast. What'd I miss? Not too much, Fish. We just finished reading Sean's story, which is fantastic. Dialogue is... is this intentional that Jerome feels as intelligent and as educated as James, but the other, James's wives don't, except for maybe the princess and the queen? Is that intentional? Super Science World. Okay. That's what I thought. Because I wasn't sure if it was magic or science, or the magic of science or the science of magic. But he was saying a summoning ritual. So I figure he has to have something to do with it. And he's the one who stayed when everyone else ran. So maybe, he's that inquisitive one. But we are surely approaching that one final moment. The one perfect stance that above all else will be what I need. Your guys' critique. Everyone else ran to get him help. Stupid laws preventing vehicles outside of emergencies. Okay. Because I was like, shouldn't someone have stayed behind with him? At least one person. I don't know. Ads! I'll be right back. We can go into the backstory of the incident, but it was either everyone stays or everyone go, because they were all desperate to stay in order to get them to help. To get the help, he basically had to order them all to go. Ah, okay. Which is very silly when you know the identity of one of them. She alone would have made far better time without the others slowing her down.